All right, I'm in the Desert Dunes tournament. I'm on hole number 8. We're in the practice round. It only I shot I shot holes 1 through 7 about 2 days ago. It's only taken me 2 days to get back to hole number 8 and 9. I ran out of practice tokens, is what the deal is. And then I got up yesterday and I was at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I was half awake, half asleep, no coffee, and I shot some video. I shot some video, and that's about as good as I can say that it was. So let's go check out hole number 8. We're in Jamel Dunes. If you go to Golf Clash Notebook, it's under Dreaded Dunes. That's what it came out as originally. So hole number 8. All right, this is one of those holes that it really is going to depend. Ball, wind direction, clubs that you have in your bag. So if we're getting a headwind here, I think to get over to the other side with a power 3 ball, I think if we're getting any kind of headwind at all, it's not going to be possible. So you're going to have to bring out a bigger ball to get over to the other side if we have any kind of headwind. And you'll have to do, this is a max OP shot if you're trying to get over to this side. And ideally you're trying to run up. You can get, up right here on the fringe. I have gotten on the green several times and I've actually rolled off, but typically you're right out here in front. Anywhere in this area right here, pretty much like in front of that, you're in your wedge range. Anything behind that, you're in short iron. If you're down in this area right here, you're kind of close to mid short iron, just depending on what ball you bring. So if your goal is to try and get up here so that you're on or taking a short pitch, then you're going to need to hit on this side. So it's really going to depend on the wind. So you may be able to get over to this side with a 3 power ball depending on the wind, but if we're getting any headwind, you're going to have to bring out a bigger ball. And depending on your clubs, it still may not be possible. The other way you can go at this is with a big topper from here. So, and this is going to be where you don't have to bring out as big a ball. You could bring out a power 2 ball, something lower wind, as long as you can get up into this area right here, and you're going to try and run it up somewhere up into this area right here. And this is more than likely going to be pretty close, like I was saying, pretty close mid, max, short iron, or long iron, depending on, short iron, depending on what your clubs are and which ball you decide to bring. So you don't necessarily, if you're bouncing off of here, have to bring a Kingmaker or a Titan or something big. You could bring a Katana. So we're going to have to see which way the wind's blowing to determine which way I want to go. So if I'm going to bounce off of here, in most cases, your big topper will net more yardage than an extra mile because of the topspin. So as long as you're not having to do any overpower, the whole deal about hitting up off this island is you're doing a layup, and you don't really want to do this with any overpower. So depending on which way the wind's blowing and the level of your clubs, your big topper may be a little short up here, so you may have to go with an extra mile. But the goal is that if you've got a big topper that'll get up into this area, you want maximum topspin to try and get as much distance as possible. Or bring out a bigger ball and try and hit over here. So I'm going to bring 2 bags, 1 for each shot. It seems to me on the shot going down in there that really it carries just a little bit farther on the drive, and that you should probably do a 10% on the drive shot. It does carry down in there. Now, if you're hitting over, let's talk about that a little bit. If you're hitting over to here and you've got a tailwind, that it's going to help carry you a little bit further. But if you're bringing out a really big ball and you're trying to get up into this area, so you got bounce number 1 here, and then you're coming over with bounce number 2s on the other side of the sand, and you're getting really close to this sand right here, that 10% is going to play a big deal. So you could easily find yourself over driving and into the sand. So if you've got an extra mile or an upper developed apocalypse, trying to hit over on this side right here and then using curl to bring you around, it'll give you a little bit more leeway on the forward part of your shot. If you're going against a headwind, depending on the ball that you have, if you're just barely over, you're going to have to do max overpower. But if you're just barely over, realize that headwind's going to lay that ball down quite a bit, probably more than the 10%. So you could end up clipping right here. And the goal is to get at the minimum to lay up right here, or to get up here if you're going to take out a bigger ball. So on this area up here, you want to make sure that you don't overdrive it. Let's go check it out. I'm going to take 2 bags. I'm going to take bag number 1 and bag number 3, I think. Bag number 1's got an extra mile, and bag number 3's got a big tapa. I'm going to start off with the extra mile and a Titan, but I think if I use the big topper, I could just use a 3 or a katana. That'll help cut the wind down a little bit, still get me up close, but I don't think you'll need to bring a big ball if you're just doing the layup. Let's scroll to hole number 8. Hole number 8. That was the other thing too, is I wasted one of my tokens because I wasn't paying attention to move the hole that I wanted to play. I know that you can go into the store and you can buy tees that give you bonus practice tokens, but it would be nice if we could just go into the store and buy practice tokens. I know if you buy the golf pass, you'll get a bunch of practice tokens, and the whole encouragement there is for us to buy that golf pass as opposed to just straight up buying practice tokens. So we have a practice session, but we can't just straight up buy practice tokens for it. It's kind of BS, in my opinion. Let's see which way the wind's blowing. So we got a pure side wind here. So I think as long as we don't have any headwind, we could probably get over to the other side with a 3 power ball. Let's see if my opponent pulls it out there. Man, I do not like how close they are up there at the top. This is going to be super close, I think. Super. Let's see how close they were to catching it here. Yeah, that was pretty close. And that area right there is going to be a pretty consistent area you're going to see people hitting to. And the deal there is that one of the things about these types of holes is consistency. So if you can get to that area, yeah, and with a 3 power ball, I'm not going to have enough to get over. So let's bring my number 3 bag. Let's put all that topspin on. All of it. And it's 1/8, so it's 2 per ring, so it's about a ring and a quarter, ring and a third. Hit 1 ring great to the left. That'll put me really close to that sand. If I don't end up in that sand, I'm going to be really lucky. About the same distance my opponent got. So maybe if you are using a big topper, probably get better. You'll be a little better off using a 3 power ball. But you may be able to bring out your extra mile and get up there closer to the tip and use a 2 power ball. You'd probably end up in the same spot that my opponent was in, because you're not using all of your clubs. So he did a layup, and it doesn't matter if it's a 3 power ball or a 2 power ball. If you're pulling back from max distance, the ball is going to travel the same distance. And I'm going to do, what am I doing here? I'm going to do a plus 10% to the cup. Plus 10%, and I should be in my, I think from that spot I should be in my short iron. Let's see, 1.1 times whatever the wind is. What is my short iron? Let's see where I'm at in my club first. Okay, there's max. There's min. So I'm right at mid club, so it's 1.4, so it's 3.9 equals divided by 1.4 per ring. It's 3.1 rings. If I can get it going towards the hole. 3.1 rings. And there's 3-1. And we just need to hit it perfect. Hit it 1 ring great to the right. And if you're going to hit it one way or the other and still go in, 1 ring great to the right would be better. And I was short. I came on this hole the other day and it bounced through, and I actually hit the flagpole and it went in, but it was like the ball guy was lying a little bit. I normally like to put on a little bit of backspin and get right up to the cup. And I was a little hesitant there, and that cost me. Cost me. I was right on track. So maybe one of those things where we have a side wind and it affects the ball just a little bit more than the 10%. We may have to chase it around a little bit. All right, that was hole number 8. Let's see if I've got some. Let me see if let's go play that one more time and see if we can get a tailwind. Because if we can get a tailwind with a 3-power ball, we could get over. We may get a little bit lucky. So let me burn a practice token here. Let's see if we can get lucky and get a tailwind. So you can see how close I was with a 3-power ball. So with a 4-power ball, with tailwind or side wind, you're probably going to be fine. But with headwind, even a 5-power ball might not be enough depending on how strong the wind is. So if you've got a low wind 5-power ball, that might help you. The only low wind 5-power balls that I have are those Megalodon balls, and the thing about them is that they are low wind and they're 5-power. They don't have a lot of side spin, but the needle speed on them at overpower sucks. So we're getting a headwind here, so we're going to have to do the same shot again. Let's see if we can get a little bit better on it this time. We'll try the 10%. I'm going to go right at it. See how my opponent does. Very nicely done. Very nice. Very nice. 357. Trying to hit consistently to a yardage down there would be very important. I'm going to switch to my number 1 bag just because I can get a little bit farther up in the hole, and you can see where my red line's at. I have plenty of room. Two. That'd be 2-4. It's about 2-4. It's 2.1 per ring plus 3, which is a 7th. Hitting it perfect. See if we can hit the next shot perfect. That's the key. It's funny, we always see the Great Pyramids and they're pristine and perfect, and it looks like it's just out in the middle of the desert. But if they shoot it from the other side, there's a it's not way out in the desert. Cairo's right there. That part of town's not the that's not where the tourists stay, in that part of town. So you got to go through that area in order to get out to the pyramids. It's kind of a trip. It's a trip when you go there because you see all of the stuff from it, but you never see Cairo really in any of the shots of the pyramids. It does look like they're just out in the middle of nowhere, but it was nice of them to let us build a golf course out there for us. All right, let's do some wind stuff here. Once again, let's see where I'm at in my club. There's min. There's max, so there's mid. So I'm pretty close to mid. 2.7 equals divided by 1.4. It's 2.12 rings. I'm not. The 1.4 is from Golf Clash Notebook, and I'm not absolutely sure about the 1.4. I haven't decided yet. I just got this Hornet upgraded here not too long ago, and it changed my numbers. And the numbers that I had, there's 2.5. There's 2.12. Let's try and hit it perfect. Oh. Your left. And that was definitely left. I played with that Hornet for years where it was the 96 accurate. And I had numbers for that were not in any book. I played at 1.1, 1.9, 2.2 for years and sank tons of shots. And for years, I always wanted to get it to 100% when they did the club card trading, and they you could get your Hornet to level 9 and it got 100%. I was all excited about it, but now it's changed it, and it's not, I don't think the numbers in the book are working quite right for me. And I know a lot of people use those numbers, but if you're playing with a club and the numbers aren't working for you, then change them. It's your damn club. You can do whatever you want. All right, that was 2 unsuccessful looks at hole number 8, but that is a hole that we're definitely going to want to pick up an eagle on. That's going to get us. There's going to be a lot of people in our bracket that are going to get eagles on there, and if we want to be up towards the top, that's a hole that we really need to try and be in that group and stay up with the lead pack. That's definitely a hole that we want to work on. All right, that was hole number 8 of the Desert Dunes. Thanks for watching.